I said, God, take what you would. And he did. And he did, and he did. And then he gave me freedom when it didn't mean a thing. And all I had left was my heart. Until they took that from me too. They thought I was crazy. You want to be named Baby? Yes, I said, it's what my husband called me. How else is he supposed to find me after I leave this place? And so, them papers were signed. I was Baby Suggs, a free woman. And nobody, not nobody, could take that from me. I had 9 babies, but only one was mine. The other ones, they sold off to God knows where. But how they left me. Oh, Hallie. He was too soft, too easy. You know, he was the one who brought me to 124. The place where not nobody owns me but me. Had to sell himself off for the weekends to get enough money to do it. I didn't see why. But somehow, Al knew. He knew that first breath of freedom was something worth dying for. And oh, Hallie, that's what happened.
What I like most about Hallie? Well, you keep a lot of men locked up for years without no woman to vote. And I know they was doing things with the lifestyle. But Hallie? Not Hallie. He was mine, and he was proper. Waited until I chose him out of all the men at the sweet home before he took me into a cornfield and wed me proper. I was Sethe, Hallie's woman. The plan was for us all to meet at the river and take off together. Nobody made it. I sent my 3 babies ahead with a cloth to suck on, but nobody was following them. They burnt 6 though at the stake, sold Paul D, and God knows what happened to the other Pauls in Hallie. They planned on keeping me so I could keep having babies and restock their fields with workers. Starting with my Denver, the baby in my belly, when the others left. But I wasn't gonna do it. Somehow I'd get into Ohio with this baby to be with my babies I sent ahead. I was gonna bring my milk to them to feed the crawling already. Baby in Ohio, but they took my milk. They took my milk.
I love telling the story of how I was born. Right when my mom laid herself down to die, a white girl came along the path, name of Amy Denver, who was just fixing to buy herself some velvet. She wasn't about to let my ma give up, especially with me inside. So that white girl got to massaging ma's feet and catching me, so that my ma could walk to the river and cross over on a boat to Ohio. I'm named after that girl because she saved both of our lives.
I was so happy when I saw Sethe come running up down the road, broken as she was. In her arms, she carried the youngest one, named of Denver. I guess she had the baby while she was running. But no how. Still no how. She saw his hat first and took off for the woodshed. I should have known. The air was something heavy that morning. But I thought it was the neighbors. I've been getting the feeling that they weren't too fond of my teachings. Some took to calling me Baby Suggs, holy, when all I wanted to do was teach them how to love their bodies and to care for each other. I tried to show them that the only grace they could have was the grace they could imagine. Well, I guess they didn't have much in mind for me. They didn't like me hosting feasts and parties when a lot of us were still hiding. But you gotta live. You've got to live in this body in this time.
I had a hard time believing in time. Sometimes you forget things. Some things go, pass on. Other things never do. Maybe if Hallie were here, this would be different.
I just don't understand. I thought life as a freed woman would be full of color and life. But I'm starting to think that my neighbors were right. This isn't real. This is feeling of being free. It's not real. We're always gonna feel like we're running. Now she took it one step further. And she made sure that wouldn't happen to her babies.
I was just a baby, the fourth one. Why'd she go straight to the third baby? Why not me? And why did my brothers leave so that it's just me in this old house? Me and Sethe. Me and Sethe and the baby, beloved. The ghost who haunts us here all the time and drove Sethe so crazy I had to go to work. See, that's why I got this song. I've got to work again today, so we got something to eat.
There was this rooster back at Sweet Home named Mr. Mean as dirt. But even if you cooked him, you'd still be cooking a rooster named Mr. Me, I was nobody. I was less than a chicken sitting on a tub in the sun. Not properly married, a mother with no milk, a woman with no children, but one and a ghost. My beloved. And I'll never regret what I done.
I faced a lot of criticism for what I did. Nobody had ever attempted and perhaps had even thought of transcribing the Holocaust in the form of pictures. Perhaps I was given a longer leash because it was my father's story.
He calls it comics because he doesn't want people to think it's just a bunch of doodles. Looks like that's what it is to me, though. I wish he'd do something more productive with himself, but he insists on these pictures. He's even included some things I told him not to write. Do not put that in there, I said, but did he listen to me? No!
Before he married my mother, my father dated a woman named Lucia. He described her as clingy and smothering, and the main reason he rejected a wedding with her was because there'd be no dowry with her as a bride.
Lucia, I told him not to speak of that!
You mind if I smoke? You what? What do you mean I can't smoke in here? Well, because of Lucia, I'd say my father's no hero. He may have survived the Holocaust, but that's primarily because he was so well connected and endowed with wealth. I say that he's so much more than a Holocaust survivor. He was a man who flirted and made mistakes and took unnecessary risks, and he had just enough luck to see the next day.
I made it nearly impossible to work at the beginning. That's why I began selling extra cloth on the black market and working at tin shops soon after Nazis took power. I was lucky, those skills saved me at Auschwitz. Two of our family friends were caught and hung in the street. They were left there for a week, hanging.
My father was first moved to Auschwitz, where he worked as a tinsman, then as a shoemaker, before he was marched and carted on cattle cars to the Swiss-German border.
They stopped the train for no reason we could see. We were to be exchanged for another set of prisoners, perhaps because we were so weak. But we were nowhere near where we were supposed to be going. And then we were ushered to a lake where it was obvious we would be shot and pushed into the waters for easy disposal. It was a girl who saved us. A girl.
My father's alive because one of the SS officer's girlfriends couldn't handle the thought of that much bloodshed.
After they moved us away from Lake, the Americans started shooting. We were so very confused. Where should we go? Where should we hide? Where should we run? Should we attack German officers? Let's hide, another prisoner and I decided. So we did in an abandoned barn. Whatever would happen next, happened.
There's no such thing as a perfect victim. A couple days ago, we were driving and my wife stopped to pick up an African-American hitchhiker. My father balked at the idea, exercising the same racism that had been imposed on him by the Nazis during the Holocaust. Suffering souls like company, I guess.
I wish Art would visit more often.
I miss my mother, but she left me all alone with him. I'd give anything to, well, anyway, Vladek's health is pretty bad. I think I'll let him move in with us just until he, well, they're saying we don't have long. He called me Richu the other day. Richu is my older brother, killed by a relative in the internment camp. I knew it wouldn't be long after I heard that.
Who? Richu? Yes, I think I saw him just the other day, I think. I can't talk much more. My heart. Artie will be good one day when he gets real job and saves his money. I leave everything to him. Everything I try to leave to him so he can live. So he can live better than I must live. This is dream, yes?
I hope you'll excuse me. I have a meeting with the TV producers this afternoon. They want to make Mouse into a big TV series with only minor embellishments. My agent thinks it's a good idea. I think I'll tell them no. The story isn't fiction. None of it is.
Remember, Lord, what has happened to us.
Look and see our
our
disgrace.
Our inheritance has been turned over to strangers, our homes to foreigners.
We have become fatherless. Our mothers are widows.
We must buy the water, drink, our wood can be had only at the price.
Those who pursue us are at our heels. We are weary and find no rest.
We submitted to Egypt and Assyria to get enough bread.
Our ancestors sinned and are no more. We bear their punishment.
Slaves rule over us, and there is no one to free us from their hands.
We get our bread at the risk of our lives because of the sword in the desert.
Our skin is hot as an oven, feverish from hunger. Women have been violated in Zion, and virgins in the towns of Judah.
Princes have been hung up by their hands. Elders are shown no respect.
Young men toil at the millstones. Boys stagger under loads of wood.
The elders are gone from the city gates. The young men have stopped their music. Joy is gone from our hearts. Our dancing has turned into mourning.
The crown has fallen from our head. Woe
Woe
to us,
For
for we have survived. Because of this, our hearts are faint.
Because of these things, our eyes grow dim.
From Mount Zion, our home, which lies desolate, the jackals proudly go for it.
You, Lord, reign forever. Your throne endures from generation to generation.
Why do you always forget us? Why do you forsake us so long?
Restore to us yourself, Yahweh, that we may return. Renew our days as of old.
Unless you've utterly rejected us and are angry with us beyond measure.
Yahweh, Lord.